Alright, boys, with Meli's second birthday coming up and him being everyone's favorite Meliodas, at least mine, and I think most people would agree he's the coolest one in the game, I thought when I talk about his Relic, I wanted to get this video out before we get the half anniversary news, just in case, he actually gets one now. He is almost 2 years old, and Assault Meli did get his a bit after he was 2 years old, but I feel like it doesn't really apply. Like, Meli's are just so random, right? Like, Lost Vein got his, what, like 3.5 years after, like, he released. I think it's random, but I feel like Traitor Meli is like in the spot where like he's just fallen off enough. He's just fallen off enough to the point where a relic would make him broken again, right? If they do it right. Obviously, that they've done a lot of relics wrong, right? Like the one guy, his relic half a year after releasing it was bad, it was horrible. It still is horrible. So we hope it's not going to be a disaster for this guy, right? Like Assault Meli's relic, I feel like turned him from a shit unit to an actual like he's a real unit. Also, this is peak drip for him. I don't make the rules, but yeah, I made 3 relics. Now I was looking at relics in general in the game, right? And a lot of relics are really simple, and then very few are very complex, right? I didn't actually write down the stats he would get, but I'm gonna assume like it's like 450 attack, 4,000 health. 5 of them. Okay, he has more, but like it's usually around that, right? Like, oh, okay, well, damn, that's tragic, right? Damn, no, damn. Well, I guess he had really high CC already, but yeah, 4,100. Yeah, okay, I guess it's random. I just looked at Chat King stats like yesterday, and I remember it was 450 attack. Right. If I could find him, whatever. Okay, well, here's. But yeah, I looked at relics, and overall they tend to, yeah, 450. There you go. His are insane. His stats overall, like, they're not that crazy. Like when you have the shield up, you get 15% basic stats, and is it 15% damage dealt, right? It's like, okay, cool. It's not like crazy, right? Or this guy, he seals ultimate when they have 5 orbs, right, for 2 turns. Of enemies, right? His green draw passive, right? A lot of them are just passives from other characters as well, like a lot of times. So that's something that's like pretty important, I think, to keep in mind. They tend to not to go too crazy, right? Like this guy, right? His relic, it's just that he turns into a pedophile. It's weird. But yeah, just in general, I feel like a lot of relics aren't that crazy, right? Like I actually don't even know what his relic is. I genuinely don't know what his relic is. I actually don't know. But like they tended not to be that crazy, okay? They tended not to be that crazy, right? Increase attack by half of defense, increase damage dealt for each orb, increase HP related stats, increase basic stats of all demon allies based on the debuffs on enemies, right? Hers is pretty more like in depth because it's like super like niche, right? But it's not even that like it doesn't even do that much. It does, but like not as much as Anyway, right? I think this one's like a good size. Like, this is what I want, right? Like something on that size of like text, not as good. Obviously, NANASHI Relic, we'll never beat that. That's too broken. But yeah, like Freya's, right? For example, it's 50% basic stats and 50% single targets if you have 3 unknown or Ragnarok allies on your team. Right, makes sense, right? They tend to not be that crazy, okay? So that's how I went into this, and I made 3.5 relics. I made 2 relics that I would like to see, depending on like what direction they want to take him into and what direction I think would be best for him. And then I have one that I think that Marble's gonna do based on a certain character. I'm gonna go to Humans tab and I'm gonna scroll down to when I see him. Okay, I do see him, so I'm just gonna, there you go. Right, so let's talk about the relics. And I'm going to explain my thought process, and then you guys in the comments let me know what you think and what you mainly want out of his relic, right? You don't have to like, go into depth, you don't have to explain, just be like, yeah, I just want him to do more damage, or I want his allies to do more damage, or I want him to be more defensive, right? You can just do that, right? But if you do have a like proper idea, please let me know. I have this like sneaky suspicion that we're going to get one during half anniversary, so I wanted to get this out beforehand. I think I mentioned it already though. We talked about his holy relic, like one in like a couple videos ago on my channel, and then we also talked about it on the podcast. So yeah, anyway, first relic is going to be more PvE oriented, I guess, but I think it would still work great for both types of like content, like PvP as well. And it's every time he does 2 single target skills, right? Every time there's 2 single target skills used, not only do you get the damage reduction from his passive, but you also heal all allies for 10% of their missing HP. Okay, I think that's pretty good because demons don't have a healer, and commandments have Glocks, I guess, right? But that's not really good, and I don't think that Glocks is going to be good ever. And I just think that having a healer would be really good in PvP, right? Just having a healer would be nice. And then also, this would be really good PvE. okay? Because let's say a lot of people still use like Meli for burn, okay? You could trigger Miguela's passive, I'm pretty sure of this, because you'd heal everyone, and then her passive would trigger if someone's healed. I don't think it has to be her heal. So there you go. Unless it has to be her heal. But yeah, I think it's just every time allies get healed to full. So there you go. I think this would be pretty good. Just in general, even if it didn't, right? People use him for Skull and Hardy and everything as well. People use him for Nidhogg for a while. I think this would make him good again for Nidhogg, and people could like figure out new teams for this as well. And the new mode as well. I feel like because people were able to go through with Mael, you can probably like figure out some like Meli team as well. So I think the heal would be nice. And then he also has, when his hero uses a single target skill, increase all anti-allies attack-related stats by 15% for one turn. It doesn't stack, so you can't get like 45 on the third card attack. Maybe you should be able to. Maybe if you think I should be able to, let me know. But I think this one's good because mainly, usually in like PvE scenarios, you don't want to use his cards until you kill. And the same thing in PvP. Like, you won't use a Meli single target turn 1, right? You always do like Esterosa single target and then Zelda single target or something, right? You never like go for both like his single target unless he has some buffs, right? So when you do go for his buffs, that means this is a turn that you want to like you usually kill people on. So if you like for that turn, if you have more attack related stats, like you have something that helps him, and then this would be another buff as well that he'd get, would just be good, right? Which would be really good to have. So you'd every time 2 single target, it doesn't have to be him, right? It's just like with the damage reduction, you also get healed. That'd be cool. And then when he attacks, when you do want to like go all out, you've got enough like stacks built up from your allies and everything. Then boom, you have a bit of help to do so because, you know, modern units are very tanky and everything, and he might need it. So I think this is cool. I think this would work pretty well. Right now I have more offensive version, right, which I think definitely works more in PvP. So his buff that he gets, right, just in case people are like misconstruing this, he gets a 6% all stat buff, right? He gets a 6% all stat buff every time he has a single target, right? So this one would So this would start him with one of those, right? He just has one of those for every Sin or Demon in the team, right? For every specific ally being Sin or Demon. I didn't want to word it like that, it's annoying, right? So I think this would be cool because he'd start with 3 buffs, right? He'd start with 3 buffs, potentially 4 if you build a team for it in like Nidhogg and stuff, already, right? So this could like help him because PvP is a lot faster. You can't just build up his stacks like this anymore. So this would help him in PvP a lot with just having stacks like right out the gate. And then also, I think this one's a bit crazy, but usually you won't get like more than like 4 or 5 what do you call it? Actually, I need to lower this. I need to make this 15. This is actually too much. There you go. Usually don't get too much like buffs on him, but you'll have like 4 or 5 buffs, right? And increasing your allies crit chance by 50 and your crit damage by like 60%, I think is completely fine if you look at what Tier does. Which the crit damage is only for himself, but like you get me, okay? And like the stuff Roxy does for a team, right, with the additional damage and everything. And like Tier lowers the crit resistance by 40. He's pretty much given everyone 40 crit chance already, and he's given them 50% attack, okay? So I feel like this, although very strong, I know. Honestly, they could take this down to 5%, I guess. Honestly, if they want to make it like more fair, because this is just a holy relic, right? It's not like why can't I type? Hello? Like why is my like hello? There you go. By 5% in crit damage by, let's say, 10. Okay, let's just make it a bit more fair like, again. Okay, I'm gonna die. Like, actually. I just hold. Okay, it's because I know why. Never mind. Okay, cool. Anyway. This way, okay? You get 4 or 5 buffs. You get 25 crit chance, right? You get 40, 50 crit damage to everyone. I think that's completely fine. Obviously, like, turn 1, you'd start with 50% crit chance and 30% crit damage. And then you do like 2 single targets, 3 single targets, right? And it would go up to, you'd have 6 buffs, right? So you'd have 30 crit chance and 60 crit damage. And I mean, it's Traitor Meli, honestly. I think it's fair, right? I'm not going to do changes to 5% now too, so they're both 5%. No, I think this is fair the way it is. I actually think it is. But I can do like, actually, let's do crit chance and, right, hold on. No, there you go. Pierce rate, I think. Honestly, yeah, that makes more sense. Because then his AoE would do, like, a lot more, because it's Pierce. So actually, yeah, let's keep it this way. Okay, he get like 40-50% Pierce. Honestly, it doesn't even do that much. Right, like, considering how much, like, you would increase your Pierce rate by, in general. Right, I think this is good. Right, 30% more Pierce rate at the start of turn, so you want to do, like, an AoE or something. Then you'd have like 30, 40 more. It's not like you won't get to like 10, 15 buffs, right? And demons don't really get buffs like that. Like who in demons actually gives them a buff? No one. You don't run a NANASHI backline. You don't run like, yeah, no one really buffs. So it'd be just him and actually having to use single targets. And you'd have to either block Esterosa's commandment or run Demon King, right? Or not run him with demons at all. Okay, you'd have to run him with Sins. And with Sins, he would fight with like Lost Vein and stuff. So I think honestly making him the strongest fight. I think this is good, right? And then for last relic, we have what I think that mob is going to do, or like the direction that they're going to do is increase damage dealt by 10% for every buff in the hero. Okay, I was looking at Shin's relic, and I remembered increases his hero damage dealt by 50% when attacking debuffed enemies. Right, he already has weak point, and then this, in addition, works really well. The red Shin also works on debuffs. But this Traitor Meli obviously works around buffs on himself, and a lot of the goal is to get buffs up, so they probably do like something that like even plays even more into it, right? So he has Amplify, but he also gets more damage dealt for each buff he has, so his AoE benefits more from it other than just the stats. And then what I think they should do, or like this is an or, is increase damage dealt by all allies by 10% for every buff in the hero, right? So like if you manage to get 4 buffs on this guy in PvP, everyone would do 40% more damage, which would be equivalent to the end pressing stance. So I think that's fair. I think this is the most realistic one. Obviously, these are the ones I really want. Let me just do this. These are the ones I really want, right? Obviously, please. And then this is the one I think is gonna happen. But I really do want these. I think these are really cool, and I hope we can get one of those. Yeah, that's really it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited for this half anniversary. Not for Liz necessarily, but for everything we're gonna get during it. And then leading up to New Year's, everything we're gonna get during New Year's. Like this is usually a really hard time in Grand Cross, so I'm excited. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Good job.